What's going on with Johnny Powell?
Hello friends, it's Johnny Powell. I'm up in Asheville. I came up to have some service done on my bike at Eurosport of Asheville BMW dealership. Really cool folks there, I gotta say, and they hooked me up. Right now I'm at Mills River Recreation Area, and I'm trying to figure out how to follow that green line on Gaia on my screen, because I'm going to do a little ride this afternoon before probably heading home, I think. But I'm going to do one little gravel road up to the Ridge Parkway where hopefully I'll meet my friend Chris, who is coming from Asheville on his GSPD R100, and I haven't ridden with him for a while, but so he wants to meet up and do something. I don't know what we're gonna do, but yeah, I came up and dropped the bike off, and actually went over. I took an Uber over to Sierra Nevada Tap Room and had lunch with Angelo. He some guy rides, Ange. He came down on his Goldwing, and we hung out a minute and chatted and visited. That was cool. And actually a couple of motorcyclists were there, and they walked over because they recognized, well, I don't know if they recognized me, but they recognized Ange, and said hello. We chatted. That was cool. So I think one of the guys' name was Byron, I think. Sorry guys, I can't remember. I'm kind of bad with names. But yeah, so Angelo had a little celebrity sighting. And I've never ridden this road. It's marked off because this was on a to-do list from way back in the day. It's just a cambered National Forest road. The gravel is a little bit slippery, I gotta say, but I think it's going to be pretty easy going. And like I said, this will pop out right on the Blue Ridge Parkway, and I don't know what this side of this road is called, but the other side is goes into an area called Bent Creek, which is popular for like mountain biking and gravel cycling and this kind of stuff. So that's supposedly where I'm going to meet Chris. I don't know how it's going to work out timing wise, because we have no way to track each other. So we'll see. Anyway, that's what I'm doing right now, in case you're interested. I've actually been riding a pretty good bit on my GS and filming, but I've quite honestly have not really. I keep filming stuff and coming back and looking at it, and it's just not that great. I guess it was last weekend. Yeah, last weekend I went to Tellico Plains on my GS and popped into the big motorcycle rally they have there. It's called the March Moto Madness, and it was huge. It was way bigger than I thought it was going to be. I mean, it still wasn't like Mid-South or Barbers or anything like that, but it was probably, I'm just going to throw a number out, 600 riders, something like that, maybe. A lot of people RV'd in, a lot of campers, RVs, trailers, cars, bunch of tent campers, and they had a big spread. I didn't hang out much because I was by myself, and kind of just wasn't feeling the vibe, and I don't know. I actually ended up not camping or deciding to skip camping altogether, even if I did stay, because I changed our plans. We rented a cabin with my wife and I, so I basically left our cabin and rode over and checked the rally out, and then went back and hung out with a fire, and that was much more comfortable, I gotta say, because it was pretty chilly last weekend. Weather's great this weekend, though. I mean, it's really nice, and there's lots of people out. Of course, it's a holiday weekend. Today is Good Friday, and Sunday, of course, Easter, and people are out. So it's a good weekend to enjoy. Here's some adventure scooters. Well, one scooter, one motorcycle. That's what I'm talking about. Chris, who you'll meet if I actually do find him today, is in one of my videos recently. Well, last year we rode just a little day ride together. But anyway, coming up next month, I'm going to do the Smoky Mountain 500 again for my 4th time, I think, on this bike. So I'll be on my GS. Chris will be on his, there he is right there. What's up, dude? Coughing in your dust, man.
First time with these boots on, and I realized I need some lowering pegs.
What's wrong with them?
I can't shift.
Oh yeah, you got to get your foot all underneath them.
I gotta get lower pegs.
Or you can raise the shifter up.
Or raise that up, yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta do one of those. So right now I'm just doing it from the side of my boot.
Oh gosh. Awesome. Well, cool. Good. All good. All right.
Well, I'll follow you up.
Okay. There he is. All right. Yeah. So, Chris on that bike, and one of his buddies will be joining us on a 1250 GSA. And we're gonna do, Smoky Mountain 500. We'll probably do it in 3 days. Yeah, that's all I got planned right now. So it's good to be riding, though. I'm glad spring is finally here. Chris is a musician as well, and recording engineer, and he actually recorded my band Easy Shakes, our new record, which is not out yet, coming soon, but anyway, a lot of fun working on that with him up here in Asheville. Pretty good overlook here. No place to stop, but it's happening. You can see way off. I do want to try to plan one more trip on this BMW this year. Something, or maybe not on this. Maybe with a rental bike, or ship this bike or something. But I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what to do. I wanted to do one more kind of something out west, maybe, or some place special. Thank you, sir. Chris just bought a new pair of adventure boots, because he usually just rides in like street shoes or street, like Doc Martens or whatever. But he's having problems getting his toe underneath the shifter to shift gears, and he didn't even test it until he got out on the road to come meet me and ride. So he's having to figure out how to use like the edge of the sole. Pretty funny. We looked at it. It's not really that apparent if it's adjustable. Probably is, but I mean, that motorcycle is 37 years old. So I don't know. He'll do some research. He thinks what he wants to do is put lower pegs on, which is probably a good move. Anyway, this is Blue Ridge Parkway for those who have never heard of it. Chances are low, but we are heading toward the south end of it. We'll cross Highway 276, or 278, I forget which it is, and then we'll hit 215, and then 215 we'll head south, and then we're gonna try to take this road called Charlie's Creek, and then we'll loop back around, head back the opposite way on a road called Wolf Pen, and then I'll probably hit 215 again and then head south down to what's it called, Rosman, and then Pumpkin Town, Travelers Rest, Greenville, and back home. Yeah. Nice. Oh yeah. By the way, Ange uploaded that video from what's it called? Chili Willy. That is embarrassing. I was not prepared mentally or mechanically for that trip. I was intending on riding this bike from home with all my with my overnight gear up to that event, but it got so cold that week, and that weekend it was like it got down, you know, below freezing or something, and I ended up having to work that Friday, so I couldn't get out early, so I didn't want to, you know, ride in the dark all night up there in the cold. So I ended up throwing the GR650 in the back of my truck, and I had not done maintenance on it. That was a mistake, and I didn't realize how poor condition the front tire was in. It had been a couple of years on that bike, and I guess it had gotten kind of a little bit dry rot. But also, when I got to the rally, I showed up right as they took the group picture with the drone. I showed up just then, and I just in a hurry I threw the bike down off the truck and just took off, and I didn't check my tire pressures, and front tire pressure was really, really low, and plus it'd been so cold and everything. So what happened was, when we got out into some rough parts of the road, the old tire spun on the rim, and it ripped the valve seat off the tube because the tube was all rotten. Anyway, but then a whole series of stupid stuff happened. Somebody in our group suggested that I back the truck up off the side of the road to make it easy to get the bike into the back of the pickup, which I didn't have to do, but I was like, okay, yeah. And then not thinking about how slippery it was going to be trying to get back on the road. And then so there was a little tow situation, had to have a little pull, which is actually not hard at all. The hardest part was just making sure that we didn't run into each other when he was pulling me out, so I was watching very carefully. And then there was the whole fiasco where I spaced out. I guess I was all just mentally shot. So I made a poor decision where I couldn't figure out why the heck can I get this axle loose, and it's because the pinch bolts are right there. There's like 4 pinch bolts right there, and I was like, for some reason it didn't register. I was thinking do the axle then the pinch bolt, but I was just dumb. I was having a really dumb I was having a early onset senior moment. Anyway, when I borrowed anyway, I went to some guys and I'm like, what the heck is wrong? And they're like, you gotta take the pinch bolts off, dude. And I'm like, oh God, what an idiot I am. And so one dude handed me a socket wrench and a ratchet, and it was set to tighten and not loosen, and I didn't pay any attention, and I just kind of went to town on it, and within like 1 second stripped it off. And that was embarrassing. You know, had like 8 people standing around watching me do that. And then I changed the tube, and I couldn't get it to seat. Oh, this is Pisgah Inn. I have one little quick story. I'm not sure what Chris was saying, but one quick story. So that's Pisgah Inn, and it's a pretty good restaurant there and stuff. But this campground down there is the first place I ever went on a motorcycle camping trip. It was like 1996 or 1997, and with my wife on the back and all our camping gear strapped on, we came up and camped there, and had dinner at the Pisgah Inn, and it was a nice time. And we rode the Parkway, and we looked at the overlooks, and we climbed to the top of the Devil's, whatever it's called, Devil Tower Lookout or something. Yep. Anyway, after my failed attempt to put a new tube in, just called it quits and just hung out. And there was a couple other folks who had their days sort of end soon for other mechanical reasons or whatever, so we just hung out and chatted. Moto Rambling, I think that's the channel, those guys. I believe we're coming up on Highway 276 pretty soon. Good stuff. I haven't really ridden the Parkway in a number of years. It's gorgeous. I mean, right now it's kind of, it's not like leafy, you know, or whatever, but at least you can see. You can see through the wintry trees. I'll tell you the other thing I did coming back from Tellico Plains is I rode Highway 64 from Franklin to Highlands, and I forgot how good that road is. It's got some pretty cool curves. I gotta say, I do enjoy riding pavement, riding twisty mountain roads. I think I like riding paved mountain roads as much, or maybe a little bit better, than dirt mountain roads, if I'm being totally honest. It depends on the bike, you know. On the Honda Trail, dirt. But this bike, I might actually prefer the paved. Really overcast and cool up here today. Those kind of clouds that almost look like they're gonna rain, but probably won't. Starting to wonder maybe maybe I just might stay up here tonight, go home in the morning. Depending on how long we ride. I was kind of considering doing the Revzilla rally in South Dakota, Get On ADV they call it, in July, but I can't get anybody interested in doing it with me, and it's a long way, and I haven't figured out how I would manage it, and kind of backpedaling on that idea, just based on the fact that when I was at Tellico Plains by myself at that rally, it wasn't all that thrilling, so I'd hate to go somewhere real far and spend a bunch of money and not have my buddies. Yeah, so I don't know what my other trip is going to be. You good? It's nice, huh? So we're on 215 South now. Yeah, I guess we're just gonna look for this Charlie's Creek Road. Not to be confused with Charlie's Creek Road on the Smoky Mountain 500, which is in Georgia. It's a different Charlie's Creek. I'm wondering if it's this green line that's marked coming up. I don't know, because I didn't make that green route. That's something Angelo made, but I didn't look at it. I guess I could flip over to another mapping system. It might show me the road name. Hey dudes. Oh, one of the guys that came up and talked to us at lunch said that he was going to get a couple of Trail 125s and do the Trans-America Trail with his daughter. That's pretty cool. I kind of sometimes miss having my Honda. I keep looking at them, think I like the yellow ones, and I like the gray ones, and the green ones. Mine was the 2021, kind of one of the first ones, and I sold it to a guy who bought it because he wanted to ride the Trans-America Trail with it. So I wonder if he ever did it. I think he and a buddy were both buying bikes, buying 125s to do that. And I was like, well, this one has done it once. It knows the way. This road's got some kind of slippery gravel in the middle, little loose pebbles, so you don't want to go too wild around these corners. I can't believe I've never been on this road before. So this is 281, I think is what it's called, and we're on our way to try to find Wolf Pen Road, I think it's called. It's Wolf something. And we just turned at Canada Fire Station, and I feel like that's familiar. I may have driven past it before, but I don't think I've ever done that Charlie's Creek Road. Oh, I made a decision. I'm just gonna stay. Chris and I are gonna do this, and then we're gonna hit 215. We're gonna go back to the Parkway. We're gonna run the Parkway backwards, same way we came, and then we're gonna take 151 down into Canton and then into Asheville. Outside of that, that's gonna be more fun to hang out here with him than to just slog it back home on the interstate tonight. I will look at the weather because I think it might be a chance of rain tomorrow, so I'm going to look and see what time that's expected, and you know, worst case I'll ride in the rain and I'll just be wet when I get home. It's no big deal. Pretty big dam. Wow. Wolf Creek Dam. This has got to be it. I just recognize this place. Angelo and I, with another old friend Dale, one time rode that road. That's why I remember it. It was on the we were riding what's part of the Tail Chaser 250 route one time, and I remember because this dude got his car stuck at a boat ramp, and we tried to help him get it out of there. It was a whole fiasco. We had to take a detour. Chris is on reserve, so we're gonna go find some gas. Well, okay, non-ethanol. This is Highway 151. Haven't done this one in a long time. Stop and get my GoPro back on. So what we did is we did 215 back to the Parkway, and then now we're taking 151 down to Candler and head into Greenville. I mean, excuse me, no, head into Asheville. This was a good day of riding. Only a little tiny bit of kind of Forest Service gravel, but some fun roads. Good times. Oh, and I don't think I ever mentioned why I came up to the dealership. I got, they replaced this switchgear here under recall. kind of deal with this bike that I think might just be a faulty rear turn signal. But I got this done because it was a recall and it's free, so wanted to see if maybe that would fix my problem, but I'm not banking on it. And I think there was one other recall the guy said that they wanted to go ahead and do, so it's all updated, and I don't remember what it was. And I asked them to put a new rear tire on, and they said they didn't have time, as they were too booked up. So I'll probably do it myself. I'll probably get a chance to try out my Rabaconda tire changer on the GS spoked wheel. I've been using the Rabaconda to do tires on my Vespa. The Rabacondas is a pretty good company, man. They will they just send parts to me, and they'll send an email. They'll say, we redesigned the so-and-so part, and it works, you know, it's improved design, and we're sending you one. And they just send it. And so twice now they've sent me 2 different like upgrades to that thing. You're supposed to have some kind of adapter to do the BMW rear wheel, and I don't have it, but the adapter I have is the like Big Hub or something adapter that makes it work with my Vespa, and I think it might actually work for the GS as well. I need to look that up. But if I get tires, I'm tempted to get, or a rear tire rather, I'm tempted to get the same OEM that this bike came with, which is the K-Roo 4 Metzler. And then that way I'll have a matched front and rear, and I'll wear out the second rear, and then by that time I'll need a front too. And then what I'll do is I can experiment with tires then. We're about to come down the mountain here. I'll wrap it up. Thanks for watching. Hope this wasn't too boring. Hope to bring you some more riding soon. And I appreciate you. Take care. Bye.